10 Golden Habits of the Rich. Do you ever wonder why you never stop struggling financially? Why you practically live from paycheck to paycheck? Why your salary barely gets you through the month? Why you've got no money at the end of every month? It is nothing but habits. Not just habits, but habits of poor people. Unlike the poor, the rich have very, very different sets of habits compared to both the poor and the middle class. Today, I'm going to teach you the 10 golden habits that build wealth. Not the gimmicks, not the hacks, not the get-rich-quick shortcuts that leave you broke and confused. I'm talking about the daily habits, the real ones that build lasting, structured, generational wealth. You see, we don't rise to the level of our dreams. We fall to the level of our habits, our routines. It doesn't matter what you want. It matters what you do, consistently, even when the effect is not visible. Getting rich? It is not an event. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not even that brilliant business idea you wrote in a diary or paper. Getting rich is a series of small decisions, repeated until they compound. When it does compound, it becomes a habit. And staying poor? That is not accidental either. It's not just bad luck. Poverty is often a byproduct of habits. Habits we picked up from our environment, our upbringing, or from never questioning what we've always done. The easiest habit that can bring the greatest mind to poverty is nothing but laziness. Laziness is the first habit that must be cut off for every other good habit to flourish. So, let's talk. Let me walk you through the 10 golden habits of the rich, with examples and illustrations. Habit 1. Rich people count their money. Here's something most people never do. They never stop to actually look at their money. Think about it. How many people do you know who just swipe their card and hope it doesn't decline? They don't budget. They don't track. They don't know what they earn after taxes, what they spend, or how much debt they're carrying. Spending money and refusing to check your balance. It's because you are scared to see how much you have left, or believing the money will be enough. It's like trying to lose weight, but refusing to look at a scale or read a food label. Now, imagine this. Two people get paid $5,000 a month, Peter and Paul. Peter spends blindly. Restaurants here, Amazon order there, Netflix subscription they forgot about. They feel kinda broke by the end of the month, but they don't know why. Paul, on the other hand, opens their finance tracker every morning. Paul knows exactly how much he's spent this week, where it went, and how much he has left. He feels in control. Same income, but completely different outcomes. Wealthy people treat money like data. They don't just hope, they know. They open their banking apps. They review their cash flow. They know where every dollar is going because they've built the habit of financial awareness. They measure because what gets measured gets improved. Habit 2. Rich people pay themselves first. This is the wealth rule that changed everything. Always pay yourself first. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was working my tail off, waking up early, grinding through long hours, doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. But every time payday came around, it vanished. Gone. Let's say you just got paid. You look at your account and think, awesome, I've got some breathing room this month. So you buy a new outfit, grab dinner out a few times, maybe take a weekend trip. Then the bills roll in. Rent, utilities, gas, credit card minimum. You pay them all. And now, there's nothing left. So you say, next month, I'll save. And the cycle repeats. Bills, groceries, gas, a night out, debts, maybe something off Amazon I didn't even need. And just like that, I was right back at zero. Every month felt like hitting reset on a broken game. No progress, no cushion, no freedom. Then one day, I heard a sentence that stopped me cold. If you don't pay yourself first, you'll always be working for everyone else. I didn't understand it at first, but the more I sat with it, the more it hit me. I was busting my back to feed the system, paying the landlord, paying the credit card companies, paying the restaurants and retail stores and tech giants. But I wasn't paying me. I was working for everyone else's dream, not mine. Rich people, they do it differently. They pay themselves first, always. Before they spend a dime on lifestyle, they put aside a portion for the future. It's like feeding your investments before feeding your cravings. Example. A friend of mine made 40K his first year out of college. He decided to save 15%, $500 a month. Everyone else said, "You're young, live a little." But he automated the savings, didn't even think about it. 10 years later, with compounding and discipline, that account was well into 6 figures. The point isn't the amount, it's the habit. If you can't save $50 when you're broke, you won't save $500 when you're rich. It's not about how much, it's about doing it first. Wealthy people live by a different code. They get paid, and before a single dollar goes out, they take a slice off the top. Not after the rent, not after brunch first. They don't wait to see what's left. They decide what they'll keep before anyone else gets a piece. And you know what that does? It tells the world, I value myself enough to build something that lasts. This isn't about saving pennies. This isn't about pinching every cent. It's not about fear or scarcity or guilt. It's about building trust with yourself. When you pay yourself first, you start to feel different. You walk differently on an intentional path. Think differently from most people. Because now, you've got a foundation under your feet. It's not just money anymore. It's ownership. It's waking up knowing that no matter what happens today, you kept a piece of it for you. It's security. I started small. I remember the first time I tried it. I took 10% of a small check, barely enough to cover rent, and set it aside. Didn't touch it, didn't even look at it. It wasn't much, but it was mine. And something shifted. I felt power where I used to feel panic. The next month, I did it again. Then again. Month after month. Eventually, I wasn't living check to check anymore. I had breathing room. I had options. I had peace. And it all started with one small decision. Pay yourself first. It's not about the number. You could start with 5%, 10%, even 2%. Doesn't matter. What matters is the habit. Because if you wait until you're making more, you'll never start. If you can't save $1 now, you won't save 1,000 later. Money doesn't change your habits. Habits change your money. Look, you can keep working to pay off everyone else's dreams. Or you can decide right now that the first person who gets paid is you. Start today, even if it's small, even if it's hard. Make a promise. From this day forward, I work for me first. Because you deserve more than just paying bills and getting by. You deserve a future with freedom. You deserve the life you've imagined. And that future, it begins the moment you choose to pay yourself first. Habit 3. Rich people protect their time. It is one thing. The rich protect. More than money, time is the only resource you can't get more of. The wealthy understand that how you spend your time determines your results. They're ruthless with it. They say no to distractions, pointless meetings, unproductive conversations. Every hour is a unit of potential value. Let me tell you something most people miss. Rich people don't just protect their money. They protect their time, like their life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. Think of Warren Buffett. His calendar is mostly empty. Why? Because he guards his focus like a vault. Broke people waste time like they'll live forever. They binge shows, scroll endlessly, jump from one task to another with no plan. Rich people, they plan their days. They batch tasks. They outsource what they shouldn't be doing. They ask, is this the highest and best use of my time? Because if your time is worth $500 an hour, why are you spending it doing 10-hour tasks? You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. You can go broke and earn it back. You can lose your job and get a new one. You can rebuild your business from scratch. But time? Once it's gone, it's gone. And the wealthy? They know this. They treat their time like gold. No wonder they hardly takes calls. Because while the world is chasing paychecks, they're guarding their minutes. They understand what most people never learn. The poor trade time for money. The rich trade money for time. Let me show you what that looks like. Have you ever seen a rich person waste a whole morning arguing on social media, scrolling endlessly through drama? No. Why? Because they know that every yes to distraction is a no to legacy. Here's the truth. Most people act like they have forever. They say yes to everything. Sure, I'll take that call. Yeah, I can swing by. I guess I can help with that. Before they know it, the day's gone. Their energy's gone. Their momentum, gone. But the wealthy? They move with intention. They say no more than they say yes. They schedule their priorities, not just their appointments. They know that every hour wasted is money, creativity, and freedom lost. Let me tell you a true story. I remember asking a successful mentor once, what's the biggest difference between how you operate and how broke people operate? He didn't even pause. He said, I don't let people steal my time. That's the first boundary I built. He had boundaries like a fortress. His phone, on silent. His meetings, short, clear, and scheduled. His calendar, aligned with his vision, not with other people's emergencies. He told me something I never forgot. If you don't protect your time, you'll spend your life building someone else's dream. Here's some of what the rich people do differently to save time. They delegate what drains them, automate what distracts them, focus on what multiplies their impact. They use assistants, systems, and teams, not because they're lazy, but because they know their highest value is in thinking, creating, and leading. They're not working harder, they're working smarter, because they know this. Every hour you spend on low-value tasks is an hour stolen from your purpose. You have 24 hours a day, just like them. Elon Musk has 24 hours. Oprah has 24 hours. You have 24 hours. So the question isn't, do you have enough time? It's, what are you doing with the time you've got? Listen, if you want to live a rich life, you can't treat your time like it's cheap. Start saying no to the things that don't move you forward. Stop giving unlimited access to people who bring limited value. Schedule your growth. Block off your focus. Build your day like your future depends on it, because it does. You don't rise by accident. You rise on purpose. And the first step is protecting your time like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Habit 4. Rich people increase their earning ability. Let's talk truth for a moment. Yes, saving is smart. Yes, cutting back on wasteful spending matters. Yes, living below your means is a solid foundation. But let's get real. You can only cut so much. You can only squeeze so many coupons. You can only downgrade your lifestyle to a point before you hit a wall. Because you can't shrink your way to wealth. You have to grow your way into it. At some point, the answer is no longer about spending less. It's about earning more. Think about this. A person making $30,000 a year who saves 20% is saving $6,000. That's commendable. But a person making $300,000 a year who saves just 10%, that's $30,000. See the difference? One focuses on frugality. The other focuses on scalability. That's the shift rich people make early. They stop asking, how can I save more? And start asking, how can I earn more? Let me give you a real-world example. Two people work the same job, a barista at a coffee shop. Barista 1 finishes their shift, goes home, opens TikTok, and scrolls until they fall asleep. They say, I'm tired. I worked hard today. I deserve to relax. Barista 2 finishes their shift, grabs a quick meal, then opens YouTube. They spend an hour watching tutorials on graphic design. They take notes. They build a simple online portfolio. They offer to design a logo for a friend's startup, for free, just to practice. Then, another and another. 12 months go by. Barista 1 is still at the same coffee shop, still making $15 an hour. Barista 2? They're freelancing on weekends, charging $75 an hour. They've built confidence, skills, and a client base. They're thinking about quitting the coffee job altogether. That's the power of increasing your earning ability. Wealthy people are obsessed with it. They know that money flows toward value. So they wake up every day asking, what problem can I solve better than anyone else? What skill can I sharpen that the world will pay for? What can I learn today that will multiply my value tomorrow? They don't wait for the economy to be fair. They don't wait for their boss to finally notice them. They take control of their own development. Jim Rohn said it best. Your income rarely exceeds your level of personal development. And he was right. If you're earning the same amount today that you were 5 years ago, something's off. You haven't grown. You haven't stretched. You've stopped learning. Rich people don't stay stagnant. They evolve. They read books. They take courses. They join masterminds. They hire coaches. They build new skills, not for a resume, but for results. Because they know money is a byproduct of who you become. Here's what that could look like for you. You're a server today. You also learn how to code on the side. You're in retail now. You study copywriting and land your first freelance gig. You're working 9 to 5, but at night, you're learning digital marketing, sales, or investing. You start small, you fail, you improve, and year after year, your earning power compounds. Because wealth doesn't just grow in your bank account. It grows in your mind first. Let that sink in. You don't get rich by chance. You get rich by choice. By choosing to become more valuable, one skill at a time. And the good news? Every day you wake up, you get a new chance to grow, to level up, to separate yourself from the average. So if your income's been stuck, it's not your job. It's not your boss. It's not the economy. It's time to look in the mirror and ask, what am I doing to become more valuable? Because the moment you start treating personal growth like a job, that's the moment your income starts rising to meet your potential. Habit 5. Rich people build multiple streams of income. Let's get one thing straight. Depending on one stream of income is the most dangerous financial move you can make. It might feel safe, predictable, comfortable, but in reality, It's like walking a tightrope with no safety net. What happens if it dries up? What happens if you get laid off? What if the industry shifts? What if a new technology makes your skill obsolete? Or your company downsizes, restructures, or simply disappears? One paycheck, one client, one product, one platform. That's not financial security. That's financial gambling. Wealthy people understand this deeply. They know the path to financial freedom isn't built on a single source. It's built on diversification. It's built on smart, layered, intentional streams of income, each one flowing toward a life of freedom, peace, and power. Here's what that looks like in real life. Meet Sarah. Sarah has a 9-to-5 job in marketing. Good pay, good benefits. But she's watched coworkers get laid off before, and she's not naive. Instead of hoping for security, she builds it. She starts teaching social media strategy on weekends, simple online courses using what she already knows. That becomes her second income stream. She doesn't blow the extra cash. She stacks it. Then, she uses those savings to buy a small rental property. Nothing fancy, just one apartment unit. Now she's added real estate cash flow to her portfolio. As the property pays her monthly, she takes that money and begins investing consistently into index funds. Over time, her money begins working for her in the background. That's investment income. Fast forward a few years, she's still got her job. Her course sales bring in steady revenue. Her property earns her passive rent every month, and her investments are compounding, quietly and powerfully. If she lost her job tomorrow, she wouldn't panic. She's built resilience. She's built freedom. That's what rich people do. They don't wait for someone to give them a raise. They don't pray the market stays kind. They build their own ecosystem, one income stream at a time. It starts with one skill, one opportunity, one idea. Then it grows. They build active income, the money they work for. Then they build passive income, the money that works for them. They understand this timeless truth. Never depend on a single income. Make investments to create a second source. By Warren Buffett. Here's what multiple income streams could look like. Your 9-to-5 job, a freelance service you offer online, a digital product or course, affiliate marketing or content creation, a rental property, dividends from stocks, royalties from a book, music, or design, a small stake in a business you believe in. You don't have to start them all at once. Start with one, then use it to build the next. Each one is a brick in the wall that protects your future. Each one gives you options. Options give you power. The key is to think like a builder. Rich people don't stumble into wealth by accident. They create opportunities, especially when none seem to exist. They ask, what can I teach, sell, or share? How can I turn this skill into service? How can I turn my income into assets? They don't chase shiny distractions. They build sustainable flows of income that support the life they want to live. And while everyone else is stuck in survival mode, hoping nothing breaks. The rich are stacking streams like Lego blocks. Not overnight, not all at once, but brick by brick, with patience, with vision, with strategy. So here's the truth. If you're relying on one income stream right now, it's time to start building. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to begin. Write, sell, rent, record, teach, trade, build. Whatever your lane is, get in it and start moving. Because multiple income streams don't just make you rich, they make you free. And that's the real goal. Habit 6. Rich people feed their mind. Let me say this loud and clear. A rich life begins with a rich mind. Before the money, before the house, before the business. It all starts up here, in your thinking. Wealthy people aren't just chasing dollars. They're chasing ideas. They're chasing wisdom. They're chasing clarity. Because they understand something most people ignore. You cannot outperform the limits of your mindset. Picture this. You walk into the home of someone who's built real wealth, not just flashy cars or rented luxury, but quiet, consistent, real wealth. What do you see? A bookshelf lined with titles like Think and Grow Rich, The Psychology of Money, Principles, by Ray Dalio. Books on real estate, negotiation, leadership, persuasion, mindset. Now walk into the home of someone always broke and overwhelmed. What do you see? A massive flat-screen TV, the latest gaming console, piles of unopened bills, and maybe a stack of self-help books they never got past chapter 1. That's not judgment. That's reality. Rich people feed their mind. Broke people numb it. Wealthy people know that what goes into your mind shapes what comes out of your life. They carve out time every single day to learn. Not because they have to, because they understand it's a competitive advantage. They listen to podcasts while they drive. They read 10 pages before bed. They attend seminars, sit in with masterminds, ask questions, get mentored. They pay for coaching, not because they're weak, but because they're hungry. Hungry to grow and to improve. They are hungry to be better. Think about it. You can feed your brain garbage or greatness. You can scroll mindlessly, or you can study intentionally. And here's the best part. It doesn't take hours. Even 15 minutes a day compounds. 15 minutes a day reading equals 6 to 7 books a year. 15 minutes of a podcast equals dozens of fresh insights each month. 15 minutes reflecting in a journal equals clarity most people never get in a lifetime. You may not notice it at first, but one day, in the middle of a tough decision, you'll think differently. You'll respond instead of reacting. You'll see angles others miss. You'll walk into rooms with a presence others respect. And someone will ask, "How do you think like that?" And you'll smile, because you know it didn't happen by accident. Here's the truth. One idea from one book can change the course of your life. One sentence, one principle, one mindset shift. That's all it takes. You're one podcast episode away from $1 million strategy. One conversation away from breaking through your ceiling. One new belief away from rewriting your future. But you'll never find that breakthrough if you're not looking for it. Wealthy people are seekers. They don't know it all, but they want to. They've trained themselves to be humble enough to learn and smart enough to stay curious. And that's what separates them. Not just what they earn, but how they think. Because once your mind expands, your life has no choice but to catch up. So here's the question. When was the last time you fed your mind on purpose? When did you last read something that challenged you? Listened to someone smarter than you? Asked a question that made you grow? Because if you want a bigger life, you need a bigger mindset. And if you want a richer bank account, start by building a richer brain. Let me tell you something the school system never taught you. The most important education is the one you give yourself. After the diploma, after the job offer, after everyone stops clapping for your graduation. Because school may have tested your memory, but life tests your wisdom. And wisdom doesn't come from Netflix. It doesn't come from gossip. It doesn't come from doing the same thing every day and hoping life magically changes. Wisdom comes from seeking, from stretching, from feeding the mind on purpose. Think of the richest people on earth, the Warren Buffetts, the Oprahs, the Elon Musks. They're not spending their days blindly consuming junk. They're reading, thinking, and asking questions, always expanding. Warren Buffett reads 5 to 6 hours a day. He once said, "The best investment you can make is in yourself." And he meant it. Not in cars, not in clothes, not in the newest phone, but in learning things that compound over a lifetime. Let me give you another image. Imagine your mind is a garden. If you never plant anything, what grows? Weeds. Yes, weed. Negativity, doubt, and limiting beliefs. Complete junk picked up from TV shows. Angry social media rants. Bad advice from broke friends. But when you plant something valuable every day, a new idea, a new principle, a new strategy, you begin to grow fruit. Confidence, vision, self-belief, execution. That's what wealthy people cultivate. Not just money, but mental discipline. Now let's get practical. You don't need to read 100 books a year. Just start with one. Read 10 pages a day. Listen to one podcast every commute. Follow creators who teach instead of distract. Journal your thoughts after you learn something new. That small shift in your routine could be the shift that rewires your life. Remember, it's not about knowing everything. It's about staying curious. It's about replacing "I already know that" with "What else can I learn from this?" Because the moment you stop learning is the moment you start declining. Stagnant mind, stagnant money. That's the pattern. But if you keep feeding your mind, if you make it a habit, if you protect your mental diet like your future depends on it, it will pay you for life. Remember, let others waste hours chasing entertainment. Let others scroll, complain, and blame the world, not you. You're building something greater. You're planting seeds daily. And you know, the most valuable real estate you'll ever own is the 6 inches between your ears. So feed it, fuel it, train it, and watch the rest of your life rise to meet it. Habit 7. Rich people surround themselves with winners. Your environment shapes your expectations. If you hang around 5 people who complain, spend recklessly, and settle, you'll likely do the same. But if you're around people who talk investments, mindset, personal growth, strategy, you elevate. Dan Pena once said, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future." Wealthy people invest in their circle. They join masterminds. They attend events. They network intentionally. Because proximity is power. You don't need to know millionaires personally to start. Just change your inputs. Follow the right mentors. Watch content that lifts you. Read things that stretch you. Your circle doesn't just support you, it challenges you. Wealth is contagious. So is poverty. Take an honest look at your circle. Are the people around you lifting you up or pulling you down? Wealthy people build environments that expect growth. They hang around people who talk about ideas, investments, and vision, not drama, gossip, or fear. True story. I once met a guy who ran a multi-million-dollar company. He told me the first thing he did when he decided to become wealthy was change who he ate lunch with. He stopped hanging with coworkers who just complained about management and started taking mentors out for coffee. That one habit changed everything. Your environment matters. If everyone around you is broke, negative, and distracted, you'll have to fight like hell just to stay neutral. Habit 8. Rich people delay gratification. This is huge. It's one of the hardest habits to master because it's wired into us to seek pleasure right now, to spend, to indulge, to get the quick hit of joy. The problem is, Quick pleasure is often a trap. You get paid, and your mind screams, treat yourself. That new phone looks shiny. That weekend trip sounds like a blast. That fancy dinner? Oh, yes, please. And it feels good. For a moment. But here's the truth. Rich people see past the moment. They don't just want fleeting happiness. They want lasting freedom. They think long-term. Imagine this. A man has two choices after his paycheck. He can either buy a flashy new car that loses value the second he drives it off the lot, or he can put that money down on a rental property that generates income every month for years to come. He chooses the rental property. Sure, it means he drives an older car, skips some luxury dinners, and maybe says no to expensive nights out with friends. But guess what? 5 years later, that rental property pays for his mortgage, his lifestyle, and even funds his retirement. Or picture a woman who wants to start her own business. Every dollar she earns is precious, but instead of splurging on designer clothes or lavish vacations, she invests in courses, marketing, and inventory. She works late nights, sacrifices weekend parties, and endures discomfort because she knows it's a seed she's planting. She understands that success is rarely instant. It's about sacrifice now for a bigger payout tomorrow. Think about it like planting seeds. You don't dig them up every day, worried if they're growing fast enough. You water them. You give them sunlight. You trust the process because you understood it. Wealth is the same. It's a slow burn. It's patience. It's delayed gratification. Here's the real magic. Delaying gratification is not deprivation. It's empowerment. It means you're choosing deeper, richer rewards instead of momentary pleasure. Because if you don't learn to sacrifice for what you want will become the sacrifice. Jim Rohn said it best. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Delaying gratification is that discipline. It's the invisible muscle that builds unstoppable momentum. So next time you're tempted to swipe your card on something unnecessary, ask yourself, will this bring me closer to my freedom? Is this a seed I'm planting or a fleeting moment of dopamine? Am I choosing temporary pleasure or long-term wealth? Because the rich don't just get rich by luck. They get rich by choosing wisely in the moments no one is watching, by choosing discomfort today so they can live life on their own terms tomorrow. Remember this. Every dollar you save instead of spending, every night you choose work over play, every moment you say no to temptation, you're investing in your future freedom. And that, my friend, is priceless. Let me be real with you for a moment. We live in a world screaming at us to want everything now. Fast food, instant downloads, one-click buys, overnight success stories. It's all built to feed our craving for immediate pleasure. But here's the catch. Real wealth doesn't come from instant gratification. It comes from patience, perseverance, and discipline. Think about some of the most successful people you admire. Whether it's Warren Buffett, Oprah Winfrey, or Elon Musk, they all have one thing in common. They delayed gratification. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire by buying Lamborghinis in his 20s. No, he lived frugally, invested wisely, and thought long-term. Oprah spent years building her career, turning down easy money for projects that aligned with her vision. Elon Musk poured his own money into his ventures, sleeping on floors, sacrificing comfort, because he believed in a future far bigger than today's comforts. You might be thinking, but I want to enjoy life now. What's the point of waiting? And that's fair. We all want happiness. But what I'm talking about is deeper happiness. The kind that comes from waking up every day without financial stress. The kind that lets you say yes to your dreams, not just no to your bills. The kind that lets you live life on your terms. Let me tell you a secret. Every time you say no to something unnecessary, you're saying yes to your future self. Every dollar saved instead of spent is a vote for your freedom. Every moment of discomfort is a deposit in your freedom bank. And here's the thing. This isn't easy. Our brains are wired for instant rewards. It's natural to want that dopamine hit. But the richest people, they've trained themselves to feel good about waiting. They celebrate the power of patience. Because they know delayed gratification is the key that unlocks the door to true wealth. So right now, commit with me. Next time you want to spend on something that won't build your future, pause. Breathe. Ask yourself, am I planting a seed or just burning cash? Because your future is being shaped by the choices you make right now, in these small, quiet moments. And those who master the art of delayed gratification don't just dream of freedom, they live it. Keep your eyes on the prize. Stay strong. Your future self will thank you. Habit 9. Rich people take full responsibility. Here's the truth that separates those who build lasting wealth from those who stay stuck. Rich people don't play the blame game. They don't waste energy pointing fingers at the economy, their boss, or circumstances outside their control. Instead, they step up and own their lives, completely and unapologetically. They ask themselves tough questions. What part of this is on me? What can I do right now to change my situation? How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity? They live by this simple but powerful mindset. It's not my fault, but it is my responsibility. You see, blaming others is easy. It feels like a way to protect yourself, but it also keeps you powerless. When you blame, you hand over your power to things beyond your control. Rich people know the game is won in the mind first. Taking responsibility means taking back your power. It means deciding, no matter what has happened or is happening, that you will choose your path forward. Imagine this. Two people get passed over for a promotion. One complains about favoritism, the unfairness of the system, and vows to just coast. The other asks, what can I learn? How can I grow? What can I do differently? That second person studies, improves skills, expands their network, and comes back stronger. Guess who eventually wins? Taking responsibility is not about beating yourself up or feeling guilty. It's about being honest with yourself and accepting that your future depends on your actions today. Here's a secret. Every rich person you admire has faced setbacks, failures, and moments where life pushed them down hard. What makes them rich isn't luck. It's that they owned their situation and refused to stay down. When you take responsibility, you become solution-focused, not problem-stuck. You learn faster because you're accountable for your results. You build resilience, knowing you control how you respond. You create momentum because every small action is your choice. Poor people wait. They wait for luck, for a break, for someone else to save them. Rich people move. They create. They decide. They act. So here's the challenge for you today. Stop waiting. Stop blaming. Look in the mirror and say, I am responsible for where I am, and I am responsible for where I'm going. When you own your life fully, the doors you thought were closed begin to open. The obstacles you feared turn into stepping stones. Because responsibility isn't a burden, it's the key that unlocks your power. No one else will do this for you. No one else will fight for your dreams with the same hunger. This is your life, your story, your choices, and it all starts with one decision: to take full responsibility and move forward no matter what. Remember, the only limits you have are the ones you accept. So rise up, take control, and create the life you deserve. If you're ready to own your future and build unstoppable momentum, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Let's get to work. Taking full responsibility isn't just a habit, it's a mindset shift that transforms your entire life. Think about it like this. If your life is a ship, are you the captain steering through storms, or are you just drifting wherever the waves take you? Rich people are captains. They don't blame the weather. They simply adjust their sails and find a new course. When things go wrong, rich people ask, "What can I control here?" They focus on their actions, not excuses. Here's something many don't realize. Blaming others feels comfortable because it lets you off the hook. But comfort doesn't build wealth. Responsibility is uncomfortable. It demands courage. It requires honesty with yourself. But that discomfort? That's growth knocking on your door. Let me tell you a secret. Your past does not define your future unless you let it. Taking responsibility means breaking free from old stories that hold you back. I wasn't born into money. I didn't have the right education. The system is against me. No, those are stories, and stories can be rewritten. You are the author of your life's story. Every day you make choices that either build your empire or tear it down. So here's the raw truth. If you want to be rich, rich in money, in freedom, in fulfillment, you must be the one who owns every part of your journey. Wake up and ask yourself, what excuse am I ready to let go of today? What part of my life am I ready to take charge of? Because the moment you stop blaming the world and start blaming yourself, in a constructive way, you ignite your power to change. You stop being a victim and become a victor. Remember, taking responsibility doesn't mean everything is easy or guaranteed. It means you are ready to work, learn, and grow through every challenge. It means when you fall, you get up, no matter how many times it takes. The road to wealth isn't paved with luck or magic. It's paved with accountability, decisions, and relentless action. So own it. Every step, every win, every failure. Because when you take full responsibility, you don't just survive, you thrive. And that's the real power of the rich mindset. Habit 10. Rich people master. Boring consistency. This is the habit almost no one talks about. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. It won't go viral on social media. But it's the one that separates the rich from everyone else. Rich people master the art of doing the boring things. They do it over and over and over, without getting distracted. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants the success, the freedom, the wealth. But only a few are willing to show up daily when it's not exciting anymore. Let me tell you the truth, most people won't admit. The path to wealth is built on repetition, not intensity, not brilliance, not hacks. It's built on waking up and doing the small things that move the needle, even when you don't feel like it. It's putting aside money every paycheck, even when it feels like it's not enough to matter. It's making the sales calls even when no one picks up. It's learning one new skill at a time, even when no one's clapping for you. It's reviewing your budget, saying no to impulse spending, eating dinner at home, again and again and again. Because rich people know this. Success is boring to watch, but beautiful in the results. Most people are addicted to variety. They want something new every week. New business idea, new income stream, new morning routine. They start fast and fizzle out faster. But wealthy people are addicted to progress. They don't chase novelty. They chase momentum. They ask, what can I repeat today? What's one simple thing I can do better than yesterday? How can I keep showing up, even when no one is watching? Think about an Olympic athlete. They don't win gold because they felt inspired. They win because they practiced the same move 10,000 times. They pushed when it was boring. They trained when no one was cheering. That's how wealth works too. A small investment habit done for 10 years beats a burst of trading hype any day. A daily write-in habit builds a business that lasts. A consistent morning routine rewires your entire mindset. But you have to stay in it long enough to see the results. And that's where most people fail. They say, it's not working, when really they haven't been working it long enough. Wealthy people don't need motivation to stay consistent. They've built discipline. They trust the process. They honor the routine. They focus on long-term rewards over short-term distractions. Consistency is what turns invisible effort into visible results. So here's your challenge. Stop looking for something new. Start showing up for what already works. Stick to the habits that seem small, because small things done daily are what build the big things everyone wants. When it's boring, do it anyway. When you feel like quitting, do it anyway. When it doesn't feel like it matters, do it anyway. Because one day you'll wake up and realize those boring habits built you a life you used to dream about. Final thoughts. Your habits build your future. Let me leave you with this. Wealth is not built in a weekend. It's not made in one big leap. It's built brick by brick, habit by habit. So here's your recap. Count your money. Track it. Understand it. Respect it. Pay yourself first. Build your future before you fund your lifestyle. Protect your time. Become more valuable and earn more. Increase your earning ability. Growth is the gateway to greater income. Build multiple streams of income. Relying on one income is risky. Feed your mind. Learn daily. Grow mentally and abundantly. Surround yourself with winners. Your circle shapes your reality. Own your results. Take responsibility for everything. Delay gratification. Sacrifice now. Conquer forever. Master boring consistency. Consistency beats intensity every time. You don't decide your future. You decide your habits. And your habits decide your future. So, what habit are you going to adopt today? I want to hear from you. Let me know which of these you are taking home. Which one challenged you? Which one inspired you? What habits are holding you back? What new habits are you going to develop? Drop them in the comments. Let's build a better financial future. One day, one habit at a time. And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs it. Check out my other videos for more real-world strategies. And if you've been following me for a while, thank you. You're not just a subscriber, you're family. Now go build habits that build your future. Let me leave you with this. Until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, stay hungry. I'll see you in the next video.